Hi, it's Pete Moore and welcome to PCM Guns, my new channel. Hope you enjoy it. Kicking off with something that's dear to many people's hearts, the precision type rifle. This is Mossberg's MVP Precision. Basically, it's a chassis system, which is no news to anybody. They've been around for ages. And what they do, they try and take out all the variables. The fore end is just a tube, doesn't touch the barrel. Bipod goes in the fore end, so the barrel is unaffected. The middle part of the stock, which supports the action, is solid aluminium, and the barrel action bolts straight into it, so there's no need for bedding, that sort of stuff. It's just one complete piece. And usually the back end of the gun will have a buffer tube, like an AR-15 type buffer tube, and you can fit all sorts of different butts. So I've got an AR-15 type infill pistol grip, rubber, good enough. A little bit short on finger position, but that's not a real issue. You could put something else on there. Magazine, it's from Magpul. It's a 10 round PMag, and it'll take 308 6.5 because it's a short action cartridge. This is what Mossberg have done. They've got an enclosed stock here, as you can see, which again makes taking the bolt out, the feel of things a little bit different, but it certainly seems to work. That is really it, but I can see this sort of gun being good for precision rifle shooting, which has become very popular in the last 2 or 3 years, and people put a lot of money into it. And this gun is not a lot of money, which did impress me. It's got this one's a 6.5 Creedmoor gun. You also get one in 308 Win. The latter is 20-inch barrel. This Creedmoor is 24, which makes a lot of sense. And it's got a good trigger, an LBA trigger, which is Mossberg's own design. Basically, it's like a Savage Accu trigger, but it's adjustable from 2 to 7 pounds. And this came out the box at a very pleasing 2.5 pounds. Nice crisp break, no real issues at all. And this whole thing, all you do is throw a bipod on it, MODI, and a scope, which is always, you pay for extra. But from the box, this thing comes in at $15.50. which is an absolute steal in my opinion, because I've been shooting this and it really shoots well, as we shall see. You know, people might say, oh, it's a down market, it's a precision gun, but I don't think it is. I mean, if you want to save yourself some money, which you could put into something else, then it's not a good place to start. It's a good place to start and finish, because it does exactly what it should do. See, but believe you me, I have this gun shooting sub-MOA groups with 2 very different loads, and oddly enough, the load I thought would shoot the worst shoots the best. And you know, and if you're actually international, your Tikka can shoot, I think, 0.35 of an inch at 100 meters, then this is what this can do. The last AR MB3 butt is fully adjustable. This pull down button here controls the lock. Just pull it down, push backwards and forwards. If you want more adjustment on the length to pull, slack off this screw here, and the whole butt pad comes back. Also, with the butt pad, you can shift the actual rubber section left or right to orientate the shoulder better. And this with full extension, with this full extension, you get 16.5 length of pull, which is pretty generous. And then the other adjustment is the comb. Again, slack off this big nut, comb pulls up. Just lock it back in position, pushes down. The only thing I would say, with this unlocked, the butt's a bit wobbly, but there is actually a set screw you can wind in once you set your length, and that will lock this out a little bit more. Still going on, should we say, with the stock and the furniture. This nice Magpul grip with infill at the back, rubber, thick. It's a pretty good grip as it is. You can get fancier grips of these rifles, all AR-15 base, so no problem. But this, I think, actually addresses a number of needs without being too over the top. As we can see, the chassis is AR configured. Most noticeable is the fact it's all enclosed here. This cutout here is the bolt to run in, as we shall see. But the only issue I have with this is, because the straight line layout is what it is, this Picatinny rail is very, very low, and you do need some half decent high or high medium mounts. These just about make it in, but if you go much lower, you have real problems with your eye scope position. So it's got an AR-15 type mag release, Mags don't fall away free. You press it, out it comes. This is a 10 round mag pull. Do 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, the usual short action calibers. Good capacity. Just clips in. Generous trigger guard. And you have the same LBA trigger you have on their Patriot Predator. Basically it's a sort of, should we say, a Savage Accu type thing. Until you press this inner blade, just see it there, the trigger won't unlock to fire. It's adjustable from 2 to 7 pounds, and it came out the box at about 2.5, and I have to say I was pretty impressed with the pull. It breaks crisp and nice, there's hardly any creep on it, and it does contribute to the gun's shootability. The safety catch again is taken what I would say off a sporting rifle, because it's pretty much a standard 2-position like rolling lever, as I call it. But as you can see, in safe mode, there's no way you can get to it without breaking your firing hand grip, which is a penalty of this sort of thing. The other thing I said before is that you need, if you want to get the bolt out, which you do for cleaning, obviously it looks like you can't, but all you do here, slap off this screw, and this comes away. That's the butt completely away, and then all you do is press the bolt release out the side, and the bolt comes out and it slides back in. It's not really cumbersome, but that's the way it is. But this is because of the nature of the beast. There's nothing else you can do with a bolt action gun. So if you want the butt back on, drop it in, wind it up. I suppose this is quite good for storage if you want a compact package or putting it away. The only thing I had noticed is that after a few rounds, this vibration starts to slack this off a little bit, which can affect when you're making the pull, because the butt is unstable. It can affect what happens, but you just keep an eye on it. Up front is this quite slim free float forend. It's all M-lock. They don't include M-lock Piccadilly with it, which is a bit annoying, so I had to get one. I've got my AccuTac bipod here, which I find, though I like the Harris because it's probably one of the best general use designs going, the AccuTac is very solid, and it does tend to suit this sort of rifle a lot more than it would a hunting rifle. So the barrel's 24 inches long. This is the Creedmoor gun, as I've said. It's 1 in 8 twist, which is good. So the barrel weight is, I would say, sort of medium edging on heavy, but it's not too heavy. Okay, so ready to go. It's got 5 rounds in the PMag. Push up, locks in. Feed's pretty smooth. There's your safety there. As I said, you've got to break your grip to switch it on and off, but that's the way it goes. And let's try some rounds. And that's 5 rounds. As you can imagine, with the rifle fully bombed up, the weight's about 14 odd pounds. Recoil's not an issue. I managed to get a little bit of head extension on this, give a little slightly bit of eye scope relief. But yeah, there it is. Shoots, ejects, feeds. That's all you need to do. If you need to put another round in, you can chuck one through the ejection port. Okay, here we are, my big book of knowledge. The 2 loads I used were Lepua's 123 grain Cinar match, which is a match bullet, quite light, and going to the other end of the scale, the classic 140 grain soft point jacketed lead cord, which is a hunting load completely. Okay, so the Lapua Cinar, they quote 2790 feet per second from their factory spec, and I found the average was 2794, which is pretty good, because it's not often you find a rifle that will shoot a load almost to the quote of the factory. Highest velocity was 2805, lowest was 2782, average was 2794, and the standard deviation is 11.7 feet per second, which means you've got an extreme spread of 23.4 inch feet per second, which is not too bad. The group was 0.414 inches. Right, I thought, well, that's not bad. And then the S&B, say it's a hunting load, and this is the 140 grain soft tip is very popular. High was 2694, low was 2673, average was 2684. The quote from S&B was 2,655 feet per second. So again, pretty good. Standard deviation was 10.7, which makes the extreme spread 21.4. Not too bad at all. But the best thing was the group. .355 inches. I said before, it was really good. And I initially was quite surprised that the match load didn't outshoot it, but that's how it shot. I think because it's a heavier bullet and it's a 1 1/8 twist barrel, it suited the barrel better. The 123 grain Cinar Lapus, they recommend if you shoot it, it should be a 1 8.5 inch twist. Doesn't seem to be much in it when you think about it, but if it shoots the 140s noticeably tighter, then obviously it proves that rifling twist on bullet weights is critical. Great rifle, I really enjoy it. I don't shoot PRS, I don't have any need for a long range rifle at all, though I appreciate what they do and I feel I can shoot them pretty well. But I think if I was looking, this would be high on my list, for the simple fact is it shoots easily sub half MOA with what you might term average ammo. So imagine if you loaded up some 140 grain or some 143 grain ELDX, which are high BC bullets for really long range use. I reckon this would really sing with that. And at 1550, you just can't knock it. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, tell your mates, support my new website, comment, and if you want to contact me on anything, then it's the old email I used to use on Gunmark TV. It's pmoore.shootingsports@gmail.com. And I hope to see you later, and good and safe shooting.